Hi and welcome. Today's video is going to be different to all the other videos that I've done. For starters, it's not a review, it's not a top 10, it's nothing of the sort. This video is a discussion video about Charmed. I have gathered two of my closest friends, Thomas from the Netherlands and Dimitris from Greece. Both of them, I've known them for about 9 years, and they are both hardcore Charmed fans like myself. And so I have asked them to join me in this video today to talk about Charmed because of the 12th anniversary since Charmed aired its final episode. This video is dedicated to Charmed and all the other Charmed fans out there, so if you are a Charmed fan and you are watching this, please feel free to comment down below and answer some of the questions and things that we're discussing and share your opinions or just, how you would answer those questions. We're always for it. I apologize for the quality. The three of us are from different countries, so I was recording this on several different devices using my phone, using my computer and Skype. So please bear with the quality. It's not about that anyway. So I really hope that you enjoy this because, like I said, this is for Charmed fans. So without further ado, let's begin the discussion.
I'm excited about the reboot, very excited. I'm joking.
Liar.
No, I'm not here for it. I also feel like it's too soon. It's been 12 years. I don't like the premise. I don't like the actors. I don't like the fact that they're trying to make money off of it. Yeah, they're trying to fuck up my childhood, and I'm not here for it.
The chemistry, there's more chemistry between my glasses in the cabinet in my kitchen than there is between those three girls. Like, there's no chemistry at all. Like, when the first time you saw, like, Prue, Piper, and Phoebe together, you saw there was, like, a chemistry like that. And now you see the trailer, and there is nothing. Absolutely nothing. You have that child's type of guy who's supposed to be Leo, like, fuck off. Like, ugh.
They're using kind of the season 4 premise of bringing in a new sister.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we all know that they had to do that for season 4. Shannon left, and they thought on their toes, and they thought, okay, hang on, let's use mythology we've established from the show, such as white lighters and witches can't be together. That gives us a perfect way to establish bringing in a new sister, or why such a loving mother would have given up a child. But in this, I can't think as to why this mother would abandon her firstborn child, who would be a potential witch, and then happily go and have 2 more. I can't put 2 and 2 together. I can't rationalize that.
And don't get me wrong. This is 2018, and the world has progressed. Like, I'm all for diversity and like women of color and the gay characters. I'm all for it. But you have to have like a foundation for the characters, and you have to have a storyline. You have to deliver. You have to have a good premise. You have to have a good storyline, good effects. And this is 2018. Shouldn't the FX be like top notch?
Like the demon, like the first demon. Like, I was like,
from what I saw in the trailer, like the FX are worse than they were back in season 1 of Charmed. Mark my words, this show is gonna air this fall, and it's gonna flop so hard. Like, it will get. I don't know if it's gonna get a second season. You'll see.
No, it won't even get a full season. Like, it will be cancelled, like, after 1 episode, and they were like, oh, fuck, we fucked up.
But I feel like the promotion of this new show is all wrong. For starters, you copied the font. Like, the font. Who does that?
Yes.
You'd think that, as you said, it's 2018, so we have more technology, we have all these better tools, And yet, the special effects in this look shit. Now, guaranteed, it's a trailer, and trailers are always quite the unfinished version of the final product. But the special effects look bad. The Book of Shadows looks like a really cheap thing that I might go and get at a store down the road. There's no artistry in it, and considering this is meant to be like an object that's been in your family for hundreds of years, at least the Book of Shadows in our Charmed, it looks weathered. It looks like it's kind of been through the mill, and you can see that it, you know, every page is a different age to it. The artistry in the pages is just that. It's artistry. It's beautiful. And in this, I'm just like, wow, that does not look like it comes from a few hundred years ago. It looks like it was made at a science fair or some kind of fair 2 weeks ago. Nope.
Did you see the sneak peek with the spirit board where they are like asking their mother? It's a fucking spirit board they bought off Amazon, and it's not even like I mean, come on. I mean,
Yeah,
we're in 2018. The spirit board in 1998 looked 1,000 times better.
And again, it looked aged appropriate. Anytime they did something, they tried to make sure it looked as old as it was. And this definitely looks like their new Leo, aka Giles, told them, you now need to perform a seance, get one off eBay. I think just a lot of the promotion I have an issue with. For starters, it's overselling itself, and a new season of anything should never oversell itself that much. It's asking for problems. It's its taglines say the feminist reboot of Charmed when Charmed already was about feminism, and it also has the tagline fighting the patriarchy. Like, dude, settle down.
That's what bugs me the most. I don't like if they would have respected the original, I wouldn't mind. But the tagline and the premise, we're gonna add a feminist twist to it. They're fighting the patriarchy, or I don't. These the same things that annoyed Holly, that annoyed me as well.
I've always said that if you want to make a point, you shouldn't have to throw it in people's faces. You should let the work speak for itself.
Exactly.
It's like what Paige says to Piper about P3. If you're trying to be that hip, it ain't hip. Like, just get over it and move on. Well, I have like a few because I like the source.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but I like the source because I'm just that awful. And the Seer, I love Debbie Morgan as the Seer. She was amazing. The way she laughs, it's like I don't know. And then Barbara, she's perfect, and Balthazar.
I have quite a few. I loved Shax. I liked Balthazar because Cole. But yeah, my favorite demon was and always will be Barbara's. That demon, I don't know. He's so badass, and like Billy Drago, I love him. He's so spooky and he's so terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a great actor. Like that man, like the way he brought that character to life. It was amazing, and it was like a pleasure seeing him coming back again and again and again. It really was a pleasure of seeing him every now and then on Charm, because he was one of the greatest villains of the show.
I do love that you guys picked a few demons who were all played by the same guy, like Michael Bailey Smith. I mean, come on. I mean, he pretty much did like majority of the demons on Charmed, so we can kind of almost just break it down to he's the best demon on Charmed.
Yes.
Which he is. Mine is a tie between the water demon and the Woogie Man.
Yeah. And the water demon?
The water demon, why? the water demon.
B3H2O?
Yeah, because there's so
That's
much more
unexpected.
of an emotional story behind this demon. It's the demon that killed their mom. It's kind of like the one that got away. It's been lurking there for so many years, and the way that they shot it really creeped me out, and I was just like, cool, not going into lakes after this.
First person that came into my mind with Paige was
With who?
I didn't like Richard from season 6.
Yeah, I forget that one.
Balthazar Getty, good choice.
Sorry, yeah. I think he was uninteresting. He was boring. He was flat, and he was not a good boyfriend at all. And his obsession with magic, yeah.
I didn't enjoy him, but at all. But I did kind of enjoy the storyline of using magic as addressing the form of drug addiction. So that part I was on board of. I do wish that they would have done it a different way, because for him, I just wasn't buying it. It kind of came out of nowhere.
My least favorite love interest by Prue was Jack. He was immature, childish, and not relationship material.
Yeah, that's true.
I actually liked most of probably all of Phoebe's love interest, but the one that I was like, it was actually the guy she married. I didn't really like Coop.
Nope.
I mean, it's not didn't like him. I was just like.
I think with Coop, the problem is that Coop only was written in the story because the show was ending, and they needed Phoebe to have like her storyline with wanting a husband and children and stuff. They needed to close that, and that's why they wrote Coop in.
I think that Coop could have worked out a lot better had they not had budget restraints and they weren't about to be cancelled. If they had more time and they could have actually made him work,
Exactly.
I think that they would have been great. But yeah, that was just a rough season, so fuck you studios for those fucking budget cuts.
Yeah. As for Piper, I mean, she didn't have many.
Here we go.
No. It's not what you think.
Here we go.
I'm not gonna say Leo. I mean, everybody loves Leo. I love him. Not my favorite though, but I love him. So I'm just like by default, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, oh God, it hurts me, like even saying it. Greg the fireman.
Oh, like my least favorite episode, like love interest, is Jeremy, because he wanted to kill them. Like,
oh shit!
yeah.
That's a good one.
So yeah.
I'm such a bad fan.
Yes, you are. But anyway, like I agree with Dimitri's least love interest kind of question thingy. Although for Paige, mine was Kyle.
Why?
This is why I love you guys.
Because they were good together, but he also kind of turned her against her sisters because of the whole crazy, horrible Avatar storyline.
Kyle was a douchebag, end of story.
Yes. For Prue, it was Jack.
Yep.
Oh
Right. Yeah, and for Phoebe, Coop. For
Right.
all the obvious reasons. Yeah.
Well, it seems that I am 3 for 4 with you guys, because for Prue, I said Jack. Because he was pretty much a man-child. For Piper, I also said Greg the fireman. I just didn't like him at all. Like, I feel
Why?
like there was nothing to like. There was nothing established about him besides the fact he's a fireman. Whoop-de-frickin-do. For Paige, I also said Kyle, because dude was a little crazy.
For real?
I'm obsessed.
Yes.
I don't just mean with the avatars. I mean the fact that, I didn't like Inspector Sheridan. She was a bitch. But he didn't have to go and shoot her. Come on. I mean, I know it was with a trank gun, but dude fucked her up real good.
Yeah.
As As for Phoebe, and I know plenty of people will disagree with me on this one, but I'm going with Jason. Sorry.
No.
No. No. No.
Yeah.
That's a no.
Yep.
You can't go wrong with Maxine.
She didn't.
I did.
No.
I
You
did.
can't go wrong.
Look, I'm gone.
And the Greek is out.
I just didn't like how he was written. I mean, for some as a love interest, they tried to establish so much about them, and I didn't feel like they did that with Jason. He was in and out of the show all the time, and then it just went in a weird direction.
I have three. Billy, Christy, Jenny.
Jenny.
Why do people hate Jenny? I don't get it. I mean, yes, she was irrelevant and insignificant, but why do people hate on Jenny?
Because of the things you just said. Like, why was she written in the story? There was nothing there.
I got one better. I got one better than...
She was a spoiled brat. Fuck off.
She was 10.
She was older
Exactly.
than 10.
What was she doing there?
Okay. Just
You
because...
also discussed the fact that they put her in the opening credits and she was on for 4 episodes.
Yeah, that was completely unnecessary.
Because you know what? I read somewhere that the intention was to keep her all throughout the season, but she was so badly received by the fans, so they cut her off. I'm gonna go ahead with Christy, because
She...
I didn't like the last season in general. I mean, it's not that I didn't like it. I mean, I enjoyed it the least. And the storyline with Billy and Christy was getting on my nerves. The acting was so bad by both Kaylee Cuoco and Marnette Patterson. Marnette Patterson was worse, if that's possible. She was so flat. She was so inexpressed. That girl could not act, and her storyline was so bad. The character was not made to be likable, but with her acting, the actress made it even worse.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with you guys. I hated Christy and I hated Billy. I even hated seeing Billy in the promotional posters. I was just like, why?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Felicia was never in the promotional pictures, like, for fuck's sake. It was never on the video promos, like, come on.
Power of Three will set us free.
Classic.
I think I'm gonna go with, I was actually torn between the truth spell and, and the to call a lost reach spell, the one that Piper used in the season 4 premiere.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm gonna go with the second one, the one where Piper
To call a lost witch. Mine is to banish the Woogieman. Love it. So good.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like it's an iconic spell.
Thanks, Grams.
I think I chose the Power of Three spell because that's basically the only spell that they used multiple times where they didn't change the actual spell.
That's true.
So where they actually like remained everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they call for grants or stuff, that spell changes in every season.
That's so true.
And so yeah.
What do you choose, Ashley, what do you choose the Woogieman spell?
I love that the spell has a story to it. It's one of the few spells that actually has a backstory. We know that it wasn't just a spell that was written in the book because it was never written in the book. It was the only one that Grams actually taught the girls in a nursery rhyme form because she knew this was something that lives in the house and it may come back. They don't know about the book. Here, I'll teach them this nursery rhyme. So there's a lot of clever things. There's just, I love that there's a history to it more than just here's us.
Right. You've done your research.
Yeah, it's called Sitting and Watching Charm for 21 years. Attic.
Attic. Attic. Ashley, you go first.
Leo? How can I not pick Leo? It's Leo.
Why?
Well, okay. Well, I have two. I have Leo and Cole.
Okay. Why? Elaborate, both of you.
Well, Leo. Well, because he's Leo, and Cole because.
He's Cole.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that too. But I actually liked Cole in season 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he became the source, but like Cole, like not source Cole, just Cole. I know this, but anyway, Cole, and then they destroyed his character in season 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like they literally destroyed his character. So that's why it's Leo and Cole for me.
Why is Leo your favorite?
There's so much history to Leo, and he's just this. He's like the only decent guy around. He's nice, he's down to earth, and he's probably the only guy. He's also the only. He's also the only guy out of all the guys who have come into the show who is the most supportive of the sisters because he gets it. Not to mention that they are his family, and he does treat them like family. He will sit and talk with Phoebe or Prue or Paige, and he was just like, yep. You know, it's not just him being their white lighter. It eventually became, this is just my family.
Can I go now?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can freak everyone out right now. Yes.
Oh,
Go
God.
ahead.
I love Leo to pieces. I mean, come on, he was Piper's sweetheart for
Oh, God.
8 years. But,
Oh, God.
Yes, but
he's Dan. Like, by far, miles, like, I love Dan, and I'll tell you how much I love him.
don't show us.
Dan-
Show us. Okay.
Dan, what's with the face, Ashley? What's with the face?
No.
Dan was so handsome. And it was not just about the fact that he was so handsome and sexy. He was a really nice guy. He was a really nice guy. He was kind. He was caring.
Until he found out Piper was a witch and he turned into a dick.
Shut up. Let me finish.
I
He
need more
was a
booze for
really
this.
nice guy. He had a job. He was caring. He loved Piper to pieces. Piper didn't treat him right. And Dan was too good for Piper. I will dare to say that Dan was too good for Piper. Yes.
Actually, I'm sorry. I don't believe I'm
Yeah.
going to say that, but I actually wait.
Dan is
I will actually agree with Demetrius on that point. That Dan was too good for Piper.
the mermaids, but that's such a cliche, and so I don't think I don't know, but no, I'm not gonna choose the mermaids. I'm gonna go with the banshees, because you know how they feed on pain, and like a banshee can be turned because like a human or a witch can be turned into a banshee because they are in a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been like in a lot of pain in some parts of my family, in my life. Did I say family? In my life. So I like sometimes I felt like I was gonna turn into a banshee. So she I think it's a very interesting creature.
Surprised you didn't say Fury.
Yeah, see, that's what I am like. I want to say Fury, but no. So, what will you say, Ashley?
Well, for me, number one is mermaids. And it's not because it's a cliche. It's because I've been obsessed with mermaids ever since I was a child. And so to see Charmed actually doing mermaids made me extremely happy, because it's like two of my favorite things coming together. And I think that they actually did them pretty well. I also think the tails, the effects and the costumes that they did for the tails worked out really well, because I know some movies today that do use actual silicone tails and they don't look good. Like, you can see where tail and skin meet and you can see the flap. I thought this was a bit more seamless. But aside from mermaids, I have to go with muses.
Muses, okay.
I've always... ha ha ha. Oh, I just realized because I'm talking to a Greek. But, you know, I love Greek mythology. Greek mythology has always been my thing. And I remember learning about muses back in, like, 6th grade. And I was, like, writing down all their names. And I was trying to memorize them. Like, there are this many. And da-da-da-da-da. And then, of course, the show brings in muses. I wish that we could have seen more than just 2 of them. But I do like that they kind of included them, and that was pretty cool.
I think I also like the Valkyries.
Oh yeah.
And not because of the costumes or anything, but because of yeah. I was looking at your necklace and I was like, yeah, Valkyries, and I was like, I mean, their meaning of life, like the things they stand for, is actually pretty good, if I remember correctly.
I was torn between Dishwalla and Michelle Branch. I'm gonna go with Michelle Branch because I got to know her through Charmed, and then I listened to all of her albums, and she's a really good pop musician. She really has amazing songs, and I loved that. Way back then when she was in Charmed, she was at the height of her career. She was really huge back then. Now nobody pays attention to her. I mean, she even released an album last year. Nobody paid attention, but she's a really great musician, really great pop songs. I love Michelle Branch. I also love the song by Dishwalla, Until I Wake Up, but I'm just gonna go with Michelle Branch because I love her. I have a soft spot, and I just love everything about her.
I like that. I know, yeah. I love Dishwalla. They're not my pick, but yeah, Dishwalla, as soon as I heard them in Charmed, I was immediately going and getting all their music. I love their songs.
Yeah. I think I know which mine is. It's the Cranberries, because episode is...
May the lead singer rest in peace.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, when I saw them on Charmed, I didn't know who the Cranberries were. Like, I'm sorry, but then I listened to their music, and then, like, they are basically known here. I didn't know that before because, you know, Netherlands. So, yeah, the Cranberries.
Mine goes to Pat Benatar.
Woo!
Golden Oldies classics. I love Pat Benatar, classic female rock star, and the fact that not only did she cameo in by performing at P3, but she was actually in another part of the episode, and I thought that was really neat. And then it's like she shows up. It's like even I was having a Piper moment, like, oh my god, you're Pat Benatar. And then she performs at the end, like, yes, she actually is singing. And so, yeah, Pat Benatar all the way.
Because of everything lazy, they were pointless, they were a bad storyline, they contributed nothing to the show. Yeah, I just didn't like that storyline. Yeah, so I don't have anything else to add.
I have Billy and Christy as well, for the obvious reasons, and the avatars, because that sucked balls, and not in a good way. So, yeah.
All good selections. I mean, I have quite a few storylines that I didn't like. I mean, I'm only human. You can absolutely love a show and still have issues with it. That's completely normal. So yeah, obviously pretty much the entire season 8 storyline is an issue, but the one I have selected is Chris coming from the future to stop evil Wyatt. Don't eat me.
Why?
Sorry! Really drove me nuts.
What the fuck?
I didn't like how they...
You can't get mad at that dude. Like, I mean...
The whole thing... Here's the thing. They fucked it up. That's just a fact. From the episode where they introduce Chris to when they finally reveal who Chris is, the two things don't sync up. The writers fucked that up because it doesn't match up at all. Brad Kern established that they did plan on having maybe Chris be Piper's son, but they moved up the storyline when they found out that Holly was pregnant. And that kind of throws everything off because they clearly had something they were going for. They didn't get to execute it right because they moved everything up and they rushed it to fit it in with Holly's pregnancy.
Yeah. He was kind of a bit of a whiny bitch. I'm sorry. Like, he was,
Thank you! Thank you!
Anytime he was like saying, okay, this needs to happen because, and then they fixed that, and then the episode after that, there's another thing that needs to be fixed because he's about to be born, or, I don't know, he's gonna fade away, and I think that's a little bit of a messed up thing.
I would like to freeze stuff and people that could come in handy, and also or these two, because freezing people could really come in handy on my exams. Or when I was in college, I could just freeze the teacher or whatever. I could just cheat on my exam. That's so shallow. And orbiting, because I hate flying, so I'm terrified of flying. And
Why do you keep getting on planes?
I know, right? Because I like Holmberg films that much.
I also had freeze time because some people really need to be frozen. I can't say any names because probably that person will actually see the video, so I won't. And then orbing as well, because I would like to orb my ass around the world. Okay, what's your power, Ashley?
I would love to have the goddess of Earth's abilities. She controls atmokinesis, geokinesis, pretty much all the kinesises. Anything that is controlling nature, the weather, I think that's dope. If not her, definitely going with the evil enchantress's powers to control the elements. Bitch got game.
I got introduced to Charmed because of my mom and my aunt who were like watching it every day. And so like the first full episode I ever seen, like I've seen bits of it, but not like an entire episode, but the first full episode I saw was San Francisco with a Sin box. That was like the first one I actually saw.
So you didn't come in till season 3?
Yes, but that's
wow.
Also, yeah. I think my mom at that point thought I was too young to watch Charmed.
So the first episode that I watched was actually my first memory. I was at my aunt's place, and I was going through the channels, and it was the pilot. It was something like This Week Comes, and it was actually the very first scene. I remember it very distinctly, because it was Piper going up the stairs, and I loved, like, I don't know, I just got hooked in the moment, like from the get go, and I watched every single episode ever since. So I was lucky enough to stumble upon Charmed on the very first episode.
I definitely began watching it from the get-go. I remember one day I was just sitting at home and I was with my mom and my brother, and then there was this ad on the TV for this show coming called Charmed, and something about the color of it and the tone, it just was so magical that I was just like, I want to watch this show. And then I watched the first episode, and from the moment the episode started, the music that it used just had me hooked, and there was just no way I could not keep watching it. And then, of course, I did, and then I got more obsessive about watching it, and it's like, no, nobody talk to me for the next hour. I'm too busy watching Charm. Can't talk. Gotta go. Bye.
I feel you. Morality bites. I think there was only one episode where they traveled in the future, right? Was it only morality bites?
Oh, crisscrossed, forever charmed.
Yeah. Fuck you, Thomas. But yeah, morality bites was a great episode. Crisscross also. But yeah, the episodes where they go to the past, I just love them. That 70s episode is a classic, and Night to Remember is not a Night to Remember, A Page from the Past, I'm sorry. Is also a really great one. Yeah, I just love the one. That time.
Good choice.
I had also the past, and then especially like that 70s episode, because you could actually see Grams and Patty work together as witches, which you don't see any other episode, basically.
And alive.
What? Yeah, and alive. Like, yeah. So I think that's also one of my favorite episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Good choices. I'm with you guys. I also prefer the episodes in the past. I say it almost any time I do a review for a movie that I am a sucker for a backstory, and you get the best backstories when you have episodes that take place in the past, and it's a chance for you to really delve into the Charmed One's ancestry and learn about where they came from and all that stuff.
I cannot go with Billy and Christy, I'm sorry.
Okay.
For all the reasons I said before.
I wrote down, oh, too many.
I have a couple, and obviously mine are more about plot points, things that have been established in the show that then they kind of contradict themselves on later on. So one is taking place in season 8 of Charmed, when Paige is giving all those reporters a tour of the house, and she says that her and her sisters are the 3rd generation to live in the manor, which is completely not factual. They are the 4th generation to live in the house, and I couldn't believe that you'd fuck up something so basic.
I also fuck up the episode with Witch Stock, with Penny and her age. Like, in the Summer of Love, wasn't that supposed to be in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
The Summer of Love?
69.
69. And Penny was like 20-something. Grams was 20-something. But weren't the Chandrons born in the 70s?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an inconsistency.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't even pick up on that one. Also, anytime they started changing the spells, that just pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they did it with the Woogie Man spell. They literally took out like 2 or 4 lines. And the show established mythology-wise that spells have to be written a certain way depending on the demon, the level of the demon, and the purpose and intent. They established that. Even there was a moment in season 6 and Piper's writing a spell and Phoebe's like, oh no, sorry, you wrote that wrong. It's an upper level demon, so you gotta put this on this. So you can't just suddenly have a spell and it work the same way when you take out half of the words. And same thing as when they had that kid Duncan in season 7 use Patty's spells, like, oh no you didn't. Like, you're okay, cool, you can conjure shit and write spells, but you didn't invent that spell. Patricia Halliwell made up that spell in the 70s, and I doubt you just came up with that.
Agreed.
Agreed. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh, Piper at Prue's grave.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That is, I still cry at that moment.
I cried just quoting it.
Well, just try editing that like in a music video with sad music, and you're destined to cry. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Or I'm just that good at video editing. I don't know. Yeah.
Also, for me, that's the saddest moment in Hell Hath No Fury, where Piper cries in Prue's grave. It's a very important scene for me, because I remember watching it when I was like 10 years old or 9, and I remember thinking at that moment that I wanted myself to become an actor. And every time I watch it, I don't cry, but I get the feels, and I can quote every single word Piper says, every breath she takes, every scream. It's like a scene I really cherish in my heart.
Yeah.
It was a very powerful moment.
The scene in Oh My Goddess Part 2 with Piper and Leo is also a very sad one. The performances by both actors are amazing. Yeah, I love that scene as well.
Yeah, those are all powerful ones. For me, it's Vea con Leos when Leo gets frozen.
Yeah.
Partly because it was very real, because he was leaving the show due to budget cuts, and it was just every other time that he or Piper or anybody died, it didn't feel final, so you don't have to feel so bad about it, because you just kind of, it's like, oh, they're coming back they're not dead, they come back 2 seconds later. And his was, you didn't know if he was coming back, you didn't know when, and it was just, you really did feel like from everyone that they didn't feel like there was a way out of this, and you felt such loss, and I was just like, this sucks.
Yeah, that was
also what I also think is a powerful scene is from Charmed Again at Prue's funeral, where after like Phoebe got the premonition and the demons attack, and Piper goes to, "This is Prue's funeral, for God's sake!" Like when she's like, and that's also like every time like I watch that scene, I get actual goosebumps seeing that. Or Piper in her room, like brushing her hair and stuff, and that I think those, yeah.
Again, I explained it like a few minutes ago. It was the scene with Piper when she was crying at Prue's grave, and just because it was like a life-defining moment for me. I mean, I got into acting because of that very scene, so it had a really big impact on my life afterwards. So yeah, that's the scene. That's what resonated with me the most.
Yeah, the same. Not that I wanted to go into acting or stuff. I mean, but it's just yeah. I mean, if you ask me like one particular scene of Charmed, you remember that scene always comes up. So, and also the scene where Piper is dying and all hell breaks loose, and Shannon or Prue basically is like holding her hands and she dies, and you know you can hear Shannon is crying for real, like it's not acted out. It's like her actually crying, which also yeah, it stays with me.
Mine has to go with all the way back to season 1, and it's when Victor comes back into the picture.
Ooh.
That's it's quite an emotional episode for me, because that is my childhood. So I like that each of them had a different perspective on it. So, you know, Phoebe doesn't have any memories of abandonment, so for her she's really excited to see her dad again. Piper's very much on the fence because she's sad about it, but she wants to see her dad. And Prue is just flat out angry because she lost her mum, she lost her dad, she was forced to look after her sisters instead of just kind of being a kid, and she clearly holds so much anger and sadness and resentment towards her dad, and I completely relate to those emotions. She is so cold towards him, and I remember the first time I was reunited with my dad after like nearly 15 years of not seeing him, and it was the coldest experience I've ever had between another human being. And I still, whenever I watch that episode, I think the moment that sums it up the best is when he's talking to them and Prue, with tears in her eyes, just says, "Nobody can hurt us as bad as you." And it's a profound and completely accurate moment, because it's true. Demons are demons, they don't have ulterior motives, but you were their father and you abandoned them, and that pain doesn't go away. So yeah, that one hits close to home every time, and I think it was I think Shannon performed that spectacularly. It was just spot on.
Mermaid.
Oh.
Because I think Alyssa looked fantastic in that costume.
She totally did.
She did.
Mine is mermaid first, because I'm obsessed with mermaids, followed by Greek goddesses, followed by Valkyries.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Good.
agreed.
Also, the mermaids for me. I loved. I liked the Greek goddesses because
You're Greek.
Because I'm Greek. I loved Piper as a Fury, and I loved Alyssa. I loved Phoebe as a Banshee.
Good stuff.
I also like Phoebe as a genie. I mean, that scene is hilarious. Why do I always get stuck with the wig?
Trust me, don't.
We all get stuck with the wig.
Piper and Leo and Phoebe and Cole. I can't choose between those two.
Piper and Leo, they're the best. End of discussion. I mean, they're so much better than Piper and Dan.
Piper and Dan.
Piper.
Piper. Oh no, maybe Phoebe. No, okay. Piper. Piper.
Yeah, it's Piper. It can't be anybody else but Piper. She was the heart of the show. She was the heart of the family. She made Charmed what it was. I love the fact that when Prue died, she really stepped up her game and she became the oldest and the strongest sister. She kept everything together. She was a mom. She was a witch. She was a businesswoman.
She was a wife.
She was everything.
A wife.
Yeah. Why? Forgot about that. mind it, honestly. I don't get the backlash. I mean, I get it. I understand why people would find it like weird or like I don't know, but I didn't mind it personally. I didn't mind it.
For me, it's a yes and a no. Like, I think it brought a different aspect to the show, but it also made me feel like Harry Potter was about to come out of one of the classrooms. So I don't know, really. I think it's a good storyline somewhere. I mean, it's good for Paige's character because it's kind of evolved Paige's character throughout, her leading the magic school.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, still too much Harry Potter for me.
Would you say you'd have maybe preferred it if it was just the one episode instead of continuous?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm mostly a no. There are some things I like about it. I like that it gives them a chance to expand their knowledge of the magical world, but I just don't think it was executed right. It just feels like suddenly bringing up magic school when, when we see Grams visiting, she knows about magic school, but it was never written in the Book of Shadows. She never considered sending her daughter or her grandchildren to magic school. It doesn't add up, so it feels a little too in left field.
Book of Shadows.
I knew that was going to be said. I knew it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's just my favorite.
Yeah, the obvious choice would be the Book of Shadows, but I also really, really liked Pandora's Box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's Greek.
Because I'm twisted like that, and also Greek, of course. And the box with the sins. What was it called?
Oh yeah.
Box of Sin.
The box with sins. Yeah.
Self-explanatory. Yeah, obviously the Book of Shadows is an easy go-to, so part of me doesn't even look at it like an item. It really is its own character in the show.
Yeah.
And it has a mind of its own, so
Exactly.
Mine is the Box of Sin. That's actually what I had, so I find that cool. We vibing. But on a secondary one, also the Spirit Board. Kind of got to go with that one too.
Grams.
Yeah, Grams.
And
also Melinda, because she started it all.
Yep.
Good choices. Melinda, we gotta love her. She's the Grams is definitely the coolest, but I have this big fascination with Phoebe Bowen.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Just because she had cryokinesis, bitch, like literally put things in ice. Like, that's pretty dope. I just love the three cousins. I just love them. They're so cool.
Things in ice.
Cryokinesis. That was what Prue's past life did.
Yeah, you said Phoebe.
Yeah, that's what her name was, Phoebe.
Yeah, that was her name.
Phoebe Bowen.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Phoebe's past life was Pearl Russell, and Piper's past life was Priscilla Baxter.
Yes.
Billy Zane.
Yes, me too!
That's what I was also going to say. Billy Zane.
Oh, I have
Hearing.
Yes.
I have hearing. I have for all the reasons that I said before. It's the ones, like I said before, I don't watch Charmed anymore because I don't know why I drifted away. I still cherish it and I love it, but every time that I decide that I'm gonna watch an episode, that's the one.
The pilot, Charmed and Dangerous, Long Live the Queen, All Hell Breaks Loose, and Awakened.
That's quite an impressive list you have there. I see you couldn't pick just one.
I couldn't pick one, and I think I added Awakened this morning because not that I forgot about that episode, but it's really good. It's
really good.
It is.
Sorry, there was a fly. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is season 2, Pardon My Past.
Oh, so good.
Oh, yeah, that's also a good one.
20s, aside from the depression, the 20s is one of my favorite eras. So I love the costumes, I love the flapper dresses, and I loved us seeing a different Charm trio. Like, it was so much fun. You know, despite the fact that one of them was evil, still fun.
I was torn between two. It was either Sense and Sensibility or A Night to Remember. Very funny episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, for me it's Sense and Sensibility. Like that. That is, I laugh every time I watch that episode.
Yeah, so good, so good.
Especially when they are all three together and stuff, and then
Mine goes to Chick Flick.
Oh yeah, how could I forgot that one? Yeah.
I'm being stalked by psycho killers and I hide in the shower.
Yeah.
Not to mention,
We're such nerds.
That's an antique, you asshole.
Billy, it's the 21st century. It's the women's job to save the day.
Job save the day. Yeah.
It's combining two of my favorite things again. Charmed and horror movies colliding. It's perfect.
Season 4. I think you know, like everybody says that the seasons with Shannon were darker and more mysterious, and the demons were better. But I feel like in season 3, where they added the fairies and everything, and the trolls and everything, I think with season 4, just because it was right after Prue's death, it became a little darker. It was a bit depressing. And we got to see Holly doing what she can do best: cry, give stellar performances. I loved everything about it. I loved the introduction of Paige, how like free spirited she was. She was a fun character. I also loved the episodes with the Source, when they got to vanquish the Source, and the storyline with the underworld and Phoebe being the queen of the underworld. I loved everything about this fourth season. It was actually the first season that I got on DVD.
Well, then season 4, and then basically because it felt like they were a family. Like they were, I mean, before Cole became the Source, they were actually a family. Like they bonded over Prue's death together, and that made, I think, the family bond even more special.
Mine's season 1. I just can't go past the first season. It's the season that made me fall in love with Charm. There's something, it also has that beautiful 90s flair that I love so much in cinema and television. And there was something that I feel was really elegant in its simplicity. It wasn't about how much CGI things can we do. It was a little bit easier to swallow, and it just kind of made it more realistic and authentic. And I love that season didn't just address them getting their abilities, but it focused on them reforming their bonds as sisters, and then helping us learn a little bit more about their past. It was a season where not only did we get to see that 70s episode, so we see what Patty and Penny were like when they were alive and the girls were children, but it also we got to meet Melinda Warren, the start of their family line. So it really did flesh out so much about not just the show and where it was going, but the characters and their past.
P3.
No need to elaborate. I mean, come on. Quake was fun. It was good. Yeah, like the iconic scene with from the first episode where Piper freezes Chef more. But yeah, P3. Come on, all the way.
You're gonna say Quake, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Quake. It was so relaxed. And again, everything about it just makes me go, 90s, I miss you. I mean, it wasn't showing Piper at her best, you know, obviously P3 really gets to showcase her, you know, talents and her creativity, but I just loved Quake, and I at least liked that she was in an environment that was close to her dreams, because being a chef was always her passion, and we never got to see that again. I mean, they only give us a nod to it in the final episode when it's like, oh yeah, she eventually goes and gets a restaurant. I'm like, well, I would have really liked to see that, but thanks.
Well, for me it's Bucklands, because I think the photography thing was written in the story because she, like, I think they needed to develop Prue's character more, so that she needed to change jobs. And I wonder if they did Part of My Past before Prue left Bucklands, if she was still a photographer in the past.
Yeah.
Like her past life. And I think no, because like two episodes before Part of My Past, she was still working at Bucklands, and she quit. So I don't know. I go for Bucklands.
I'm with you. I loved Bucklands. I love that we got to see how smart she was.
Yeah.
Like, she had so much knowledge. I mean, even great. When you see her talking about, sorry, it's not Greek, it's Roman. When you see her looking at that Roman vessel, and she immediately just starts going into, just by looking at it, its history, where it came from, just like, oh god, you are so smart. You're like a nerd, but a cool nerd.
Yeah.
I loved seeing her like that. And when she went into photography, we really didn't see or hear much about her work life. It wasn't really factored in very much into the show. And I preferred seeing her at work and having something that she did that wasn't just fighting demons, because they did that for Piper. Piper had P3 and they focused on that plenty. Phoebe went back to college, so they got to use that, but then they gave her photography and they hardly used it, whereas with Bucklands they used that a lot more in a really nice way.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, I was torn between these two, because Bucklands, yeah, she was really, really good at it. She enjoyed it, but she also, I'm gonna go ahead with photography, because I feel like it was something that she really enjoyed. I don't care that it wasn't as developed as it should be in the series. It's a tie.
It was and is still an escape for me, especially now with my depression and all the other stuff happening. It's just an escape. And back then, when it still was on air, it was like an escape from my parents' divorce and the fact that we lost our house and had to stay with friends and family for a few months, all that kind of crap. And it makes it's just an escape, and it's not a TV show for me. It's a family. You know, when you put on an episode, you feel part of a family. When you go to conventions and you meet the actors, you're part of family. And I think that's why I love Charmed.
Charmed really was my childhood. Um, I mean, I'm 25 now, and I started watching it when I was like 7. So it's been so many years. It's almost 20 years. So it was an escape for me as well. Um, I was heavily bullied when I was in like elementary school and high school and all throughout school I was heavily bullied. So that was my escape. It was something that I could focus on and love and adore and like give attention to. Um, like even like the kids would tease me about watching Charmed. Oh, you're gonna go watch Charmed now. Like they would say stupid shit. It really is important to me because, like I said, it was an escape and it created my passion for acting. I got to love um, all of the actors. Holly, in particular, she's my like she's my idol. Um, and it's so awesome that we like even this like we get to talk to each other right now. Why do we talk to
Yeah.
each other? How do we know each other? Through Charmed. Like and I've been to conventions. I've been to 5 conventions. 4 of them I went as a fan, and the last one in Birmingham I was asked to work there with Thomas, and it was only until then that I realized how important it is to people. I mean, I knew that people were crazy about it, but this is when I realized how important it is to people, and for me to have this passion to share with other people and like see them talking about the episodes and the actors and every little detail about the show that I know that I thought that I was only the only one that knew, then it's really important. Like the nostalgia of it all. It will always have a special place in my heart, and I will get addicted to many TV shows, and there are some great TV shows out there, like the Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead, and I watch a lot of shows that I really love and I'm obsessed with, but nothing, not even Friends, will top Charmed. Like I just love it. I don't know what to say. I love Charmed. It's in my heart.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
It
you.
really was a pleasure.
I know the end of the video wasn't perfect. I would have loved it to be, but my recording timed out and I ran out of room on my phone, and given that it was such a personal question with such personal stories, I didn't have time to interrupt them and fix the issue. So there won't be any footage that you will be able to hear and see of me discussing why I love Charmed. However, I do have a future video coming up in regards to me discussing my thoughts on the Charmed reboot, and in that I will properly answer that question. I apologize for not being able to do it. I could answer it now at the end of the video, but out of the moment it does feel a little forced, and I would have preferred it be in response to what they were saying, but my friend said a lot of the things that I agreed with. I apologize for the ending appearing a bit abrupt, but I apologize for the length of the video, but I hope you took a lot of things from it. I hope there was a lot that you agreed with or found enlightening. Please comment down below, share your thoughts, and thank you so much for watching this video, and happy anniversary.